Good morning, all my dear students. In the last class of class 5 EVS, we have already finished lesson number 3 in natural balance from class 5 EVS, where we have learned a lot of things and I have discussed few of the question answers from the textbook. Let us recall what we have done in the last classes so far in the lesson in natural balance. Here in the lesson, the natural balance, we have learned that all living things need food to survive. Animals are dependent on plants for food, shelter, and oxygen, while green plants make their own food. Both groups eat different types of food and acquire in different ways. Now, we have also learned about food for plants. In food for plant, as you can see in the picture, food for plant, I already explained you about photosynthesis. As you can see in the picture, green plants. Plants need sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to live. Green plants are called producers because they make their own food. The process by which green plants make their food in the presence of chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water is known as photosynthesis. Green plants are also known as producers because they can prepare their own food with the help of, as you can see in the picture, chlorophyll, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water. The process of preparing food by the plant is known as photosynthesis. And during photosynthesis, green plants absorb energy from the sun. This energy is absorbed with the help of a pigment called chlorophyll, which is present in all green leaves. Water and minerals are absorbed by the roots and are carried to other parts of the plant. Carbon dioxide is absorbed through tiny pores in the leaves called stomata. Sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide are used to make food in the form of glucose or sugar, and oxygen is released into the air. The following reaction explains the process of photosynthesis. As I already explained you about the reaction, which is carbon dioxide plus water, with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll, it produces sugar plus oxygen, which we can say glucose. Now, a portion of glucose is used by plants for their growth. The remaining glucose is stored as starch in different parts of the plant, such as roots, stems, leaves, seeds, and fruit. Some vegetables like potato and tapioca are rich in starch. So, plant obtain nutrients from the soil. Over time, these nutrients run out and need to be replaced. This is why gardeners add manures and fertilizer to the soil. The next point, as I already have discussed with you about parasitic plants, plants obtain nutrition by growing on other plants are called parasitic plants. As you can see in the picture, it's an example of parasitic plant that obtain nutrition by growing on other plant. It's an example of dodder plant. It's a kind of parasitic plant. Some of the parasitic plants are such as Rafflesia, Mistleto, Dodder, Cascuta, etc. In the same way, as you can see in the picture, it's a picture of Dodder, which is an example of parasitic plant. In the next picture, as you can see, carnivorous plant. Carnivorous plants are also known as insectivorous plants. Plants that obtain nutrition by eating small animals such as insects, flies, and bugs are called carnivorous plants. They grow in soil that lacks certain nutrients like nitrogen. They trap insect to get nitrogen. However, all carnivorous plants derive energy from the sun and depends on animal only for nutrition. As you can see in the picture, this is the example which I have already shown you in the last classes. Pitcher plant, then Venus flytrap. Now, before directly going to the question and answers, I want to recall you once about food for animals, where we have learnt about consumers, uh, And based on the kind of food they eat, animals can be classified as herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous, scavengers, and decomposer. Herbivores are plant-eating animal, carnivores are flesh-eating animals, omnivores are the animals who eat both flesh and plants. And scavengers are some animals help us to keep the environment clean by eating dead animals. They are called scavengers, such as hyenas, vultures, and crows are example of scavengers. In the same way, decomposers are some organism obtain their food by consuming dead and decaying plants, such as bacteria, fungi, earthworm, etc. Now let us go to question answers. We have also I've also explained in the last classes about food chain, food web as well. Now let us go to question and answer. The first question, as you can see, which I have already explained in the last class, what is photosynthesis? What is photosynthesis? The process by which green plants make their food in the presence of chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water is known as photosynthesis. Now, the next question is, what are parasitic plants? Just now, I have discussed with you what about the parasitic plant. The plants that obtain nutrition by growing on other plant are called parasitic plant. I have given you example by showing the picture of dodder, which is an example of parasitic plant. Now the next one you can see, question number 3 is, what is a food chain and food web? Explain with the help of an example. About food chain and food web, I've already explained with you in the last classes. I've shown you the diagram how food chain and food web works in nature, and with example. So the answer is like food chain. A food chain is the chain formed when plants are eaten by animals, which are then eaten by other animals. Examples, some of the examples are also given. You can see a grasshopper who eats grass is eaten by a frog, which is then eaten by a snake. Finally, the snake is eaten by an eagle. Now food chain is done. Now the next is food web. So about food web, different interconnected food chains form a food web. Example, plants are eaten by herbivores, and herbivores are eaten by many carnivores such as tigers, lions, and wolves. Now, this much I have already discussed with you in the last class. So today we are going to discuss about what do you understand by balance in nature. The question is, what do you understand by balance in nature? What is the meaning of balance in nature? Balance in nature is a concept of maintaining a balance in nature. If we disturb any one element, then all the other elements get interrupted in the entire system. This is known as balance in nature. Balance in nature means each and everything in the nature, all the natural properties, all the natural elements, all living things as well as non-living things are interconnected, interdependent on each other. If we or anyone disturb any one element out of it, then what will happen? All the other animal elements get interrupted in the entire system. So this is known as balance in nature. Question number 4. Now it comes the last question. Question number 5. As you can see, what are the causes of extinction of plants and animals? So here we have to write the answer. The question is, what are the causes of extinction of plants and animals? As you can see, day by day, many plants and animals are getting extinct. So what are the causes of extinction of such plants and animals? So the answer is, the causes of extinction of plants and animals are as follows. So I have given you 3 points. You can see the first point is increase in the number of predators. Second is climate change, and the third is loss of natural habitat. Now the first one is increase in the number of predators. Means predators is increasing day by day. We humans are slaughtering a lot of animals. As well as the second one is climate change. Because of this global warming, climate changes very often nowadays, as you can see, and because of this climate change, lots of plants and animals are in the red data book. Now what is red data book? Red data book is a kind of book where this extinct or endangered plants and animals names are written down. The third one is loss of natural habitat. Loss of natural habitat means each and every plants and animals have their own habitat to live in, but Because of this, industries or building houses, so it causing loss of natural habitats to the to different plants and animals. So these are the few reasons of what are the causes of extinction of plants and animals. So the causes of extinction of plants and animals are increase in the number of predators, climate change, loss of natural habitat. So with this, we have done this lesson a natural balance as well. It is over. So in the next class, we will be starting a new lesson. I want you all children to go through the question answers properly. Till then, thank you.